Hey everybody, welcome back to the Slasher Uprising channel, the home of the slasher movie. This is going to be episode number 57 of my slasher movie archives. In this video, I will be giving my review for Bikini Girls on Ice, released in 2009. These girls are so hot, they have to be put on ice. Okay, so getting into the plot for this one. Stranded on their way to a bikini car wash fundraiser, a group of hot college girls find refuge in an old abandoned gas station on the outskirts of town. Soon, their broken down bus is the last of their worries as a maniac Axeman mechanic starts picking them off one by one. Scared, alone, and miles from help, the girls are faced with a psycho killer who wants to put these hot girls on ice. Instead of struggling to raise small change, the bikini babes are now in their biggest fight of their lives. Okay, so getting into my thoughts for this one. I had a good time with Bikini Girls on Ice. In fact, I probably enjoyed it way more than I probably should have. The plot is paper thin, but it works well enough. It gets the job done. We have college girls who are going to do a bikini car wash for a fundraiser. With this being a slasher movie, of course they are not going to make it to their destination because the bus breaks down in a secluded area that just so happens to be a old rundown gas station that for some reason still has gas in the pumps and running water. And there's also a few ice boxes full of ice that will come into play later on. The bus repairs are going to take several hours, so they decide to make the best of a bad situation by putting on their bikinis and having the car wash there. Again, with this being a slasher movie, they start getting picked off one by one. So wait a minute, something's not adding up. Besides the gas pump still having gas and the gas station that's closed down still has running water, how are they going to do a car wash in a secluded area? Will there be customers for this car wash? The answer is yes. To be in such a secluded area at a rundown gas station that nobody ever goes to anymore, there's quite a few customers. And that brings me to the movie score. There's nothing that I can recall that's noteworthy other than some rock music that plays while the girls are washing cars. It does a really good job of setting the mood for that scene, and it really does seem like the girls are having a good time washing cars. So that's nice. So let's recap. Pretty college girls, check. Secluded location, bikini car wash, check. Girls in bikinis being stalked and murdered one by one, check. So the setup is as simple as it gets. And I was perfectly fine with that. This is a turn your brain off and just go with it kind of movie. And just have fun. The DVD includes play feature, scene selection, setup, and extras that includes behind the scenes, bloopers, a deleted scene, a audio commentary, and the trailer. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the characters we have in Bikini Girls on Ice. In this one we follow Jenna, who is a college student who seems to be a soccer star. The movie doesn't dive too deep into this, but when we first see Jenna in her room, she is wearing a Cougars soccer shirt and we see some of her trophies. We find out later on that she had several offers to different schools, but she chose to stay and go to college with her best friend, Sam. There seems to be moments where Jenna is torn by this decision. To be the main character of the story, we don't really have a lot to go off of other than you can tell she cares a lot for her best friend, Sam. In my opinion, Jenna's character is a little dull as a final girl. Now, I don't necessarily dislike Jenna as a character, but her lines of dialogue made her seem very flat as a character.
Have you even picked a bikini for tomorrow?
My dog ate them all.
I got you covered.
You're ridiculous. At least find me something that's gonna make my boobs look hot.
Instead, I much prefer Jenna's best friend, Sam. Between the two, Sam has all the personality. She's much more lively and overall much more likable. She's a spunky, funny character. One of my favorite scenes in the movie, not featuring the violent stuff, is an interaction that Jenna and Sam have with Hank. Hank is an old creepy guy who warns them to get away from the gas station. I believe Hank says something like, If I were you girls, I'd pack up my stuff and get the hell out of here. He goes on to say, at night I seen headlights come down this highway and I ain't never seen them leave again. Hank declines a car wash, claiming it's the grime and the grease keeping old Betsy together, but politely gives the girls 50 cents for looking so pretty.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you 50 cents just for looking so darn pretty.
Some of the other Bikini Girls who actually have speaking lines are Brooke and Nikki, who both seem to be into each other, but Nikki is pretty much down for whatever, if you get what I'm saying. And then we have Lena, who is the snotty one of the bunch. She's bitchy and kind of controlling, but at least she's smart enough to know she doesn't like the situation of being stranded at a creepy rundown gas station. Overall, for the most part, I enjoyed these characters. I know I give Jenna's character a hard time, but for a final girl, it would have been nice for her to have a little more charisma, but still, I wouldn't necessarily say I disliked her. She was decent enough. And for a low-budget slasher movie, I thought the acting was fairly solid, so I have no complaints there. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the most important part of a slasher movie, that is the killer and the kills. Naturally, with this one taking place at a rundown service station, our killer in this one is a big menacing mechanic who wears a mechanic's jumpsuit. He is an unmasked killer named Mo, who has long, stringy, greasy looking hair and yellow teeth. He lives in a house that's not far from the gas station. After he murders his victims, he likes to lay their bodies in ice, and that's either in an ice box or a bathtub full of ice. He also likes to collect bikinis from his dead female victims. He hangs them up as trophies. There's really no explanation for any of this other than he's a sick individual. He never speaks, he only grunts and groans as he kills his victims. It's basically his way of expressing his excitement as he commits brutal acts of violence. And as far as the kills go, the movie has a pretty high body count with around 10 or 11 kills. There's 2 of those that are off-screen kills with the bodies being discovered, and the other is a bit of a cliffhanger. The movie does offer a nice variety of kills. We get an axe to the head, a ice pick stabbing, a ice pick to the throat, and a Coke bottle kill, just to name a few. It's hard for me to pick a favorite, but I believe I'm going to go with the throat cut kill in this one. One of my biggest problems I have with this movie is the way they filmed the kills. We don't really get to see all that much, and Mo is such a fast-moving mofo, it's sometimes even hard to see what he's using to kill somebody with. For example, the axe kill that I mentioned, I couldn't even tell what it was in real time. It wasn't until I seen the deleted scene in the special features that I could even tell it was an axe. I initially thought it was a sledgehammer. But overall, I had fun with Bikini Girls on Ice. It's a pretty decent low-budget slasher if you can overlook a few issues the movie has. With slasher movies, it's never going to be perfect. And the last thing that I wanted to mention is with a title like Bikini Girls on Ice, it's not as sleazy as that name might suggest. There's only brief nudity in one sex scene. IMDb give Bikini Girls on Ice a 3 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. Remember, evil never dies, it rests a while. It watches, it waits. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the Slasher Uprising channel, the home of the slasher movie. Tune in each and every Saturday night as evil takes back the night. Be sure to comment below and let me know if you have seen Bikini Girls on Ice, or just let me know what you think of the video. And as always, I would like to thank you all for watching.